Good evening, everyone. Welcome to IQI Canada Evening Talks. My name is Yousaf Iqbal, country head, Juwai, IQI Canada. We are back with our popular episode of Maple Mondays with none other than Mr. Haroon Anwar. How are you doing, Haroon? Good morning to you.
Hi, Yusuf. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing very well. It's always a pleasure, and having you on a live session is always so great. So much, so different topics we always talk about, and from the audience perspective, the kind of feedback I get, especially for Maple Mondays when we do it, once a month, people say that, oh wow, you guys are just not talking about the always the stream which other people talk about. You always want to bring in some different topics, different things on that. And thank you very much for that, Haroon, for always enlightening our audience with different topics.
Well, it's so encouraging, and thank you, Yusuf, for sharing that feedback with me as well, because we certainly want to make sure that our topics are of relevance to our audience. And having that encouraging feedback certainly helps us deliver even better content and more relevant content. So I'm glad that audience is tuning in and listening and sharing with others as well. So all
Yes.
of that is very encouraging.
True, true. And you know what? Today's topic is none. This is another amazing topic, talking about the healthy lifestyle. And you know what? Before we get into like about the healthy lifestyle, I just want to talk about from the realtor's perspective as well. So much stress goes around to people. I mean, it's not just the sales part, but the other people as well. But from the realtor perspective, there are so many things which happen in our life. Our job get very stressful. You're doing on certain deals and things like that. Why you need to watch this episode, why you need to think about it, and how you should maintain that health lifestyle. That is what Haroon will be talking about today. So, Haroon, to you about the healthy lifestyle topic today.
Well, and I don't think we can overemphasize the
Yeah,
significance of good health. It's such an obvious statement, good health.
yeah,
But as you said, most salespeople, most executives, uh, even athletes, performers, etc., they all lead a very high stress job, right? Career. And all of that requires them to perform optimally. And we all struggle with finding time to take care of ourselves. Uh,
yeah,
and it is always that, oh, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough resources, and it's either raining or snowing, or I can't find parking to get to the gym, etc. Well, so
yes,
today what we want to do is break it down into something simpler, something more relevant as to why, first of all, should we prioritize our health, and what is a relatively easy way to look after ourselves, and what
yeah,
we have seen as a consequence of people who don't look after themselves. And it's not a question of simply saying premature death, but it's also something which we all should be cognizant of, is that our existence in this world is primarily to look after the people around us.
yeah,
So, so all of us do what we do because we are taking care of someone. We are taking care of our families. We are taking care of the people we love. We are taking care of people we care about. And if we genuinely are doing whatever we do in our careers, in our jobs, to look after the people, then we need to look after ourselves first. Because
that's
if we
right.
don't look after ourselves, then we can't look after the people around us.
Agree. Very true. Very true.
And what we have seen among a lot of people is this notion of not being able to clearly understand of how we can look after ourselves. So we're going to try and break it down into smaller parts and say, okay, look, is it the food we eat? Is it the exercise? Is it the breathing? Is it the mental state? And at the end of the day, maybe it's all of it put together.
True.
But when we have the formula right, when we have all these connections right, we do know that we will have the necessary energy we need to perform optimally, And once we perform optimally, we can deliver better results. So, for example, we're going back to what you're saying in real estate. Okay, majority of the people earn real estate through sales, which is
Yeah.
commission driven, not
Yeah.
a secret,
Yeah.
which means they have to chase a number of deals out there. And when they're chasing these number of deals, some of them will materialize, others will not materialize.
That's right. That's true.
But for every single deal, the individual has to show up with great amount of positive attitude, a great
Absolutely.
amount of enthusiasm,
Yeah.
a great amount of commitment, and the expectation that they will achieve the desired outcome and desired result.
True. True.
So,
True.
how do
True.
we get people to get that kind of energy in them? How do we get them motivated?
To
And,
motivate
and
on that.
exactly. So, to get that level of energy, and it's got nothing to do with age. I mean, from your experience, Yusuf, tell me, have you seen individuals who are in their 30s, relatively young, outperform people in their 60s? Or people in 60s having less energy than most of the 30s? I mean, anecdotally, yes, we want to
That's
expect that, right?
That's true. That's true. That's true. You know what? That's a very good question. You know what you're asking. So we're going to say hi to Kashev. Hello, Kashev. Thank you so much for joining us. You're absolutely right. You know what? It's like you've seen people who were in their 30s look very tired and they feel very fatigued, and then you've people seen people in your 60s who are looking really fresh and looking really really energetic. I think it's all about the healthy lifestyle. You said it's just not about just hitting the gym part of it on that. I think a lot of time what happens in our daily stressful lives is that you are continuing doing nothing for yourself. Then you get up in the morning, you get on the weighing scale and say, oh my God, today looks like I put on a lot of weight. So what do I do? Let me go and just start Googling up and saying how to lose weight immediately or to get into a diet plan without realizing that, will that balance your lifestyle or not on that. So yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. You see suddenly these people, of different age. So age is just a part of it. It's again the lifestyle, how you maintain yourself.
So I'll give you an example. Okay, when you said you do you know that most people, when they visualize gym, they visualize treadmill. Okay,
Six
there's a lot
packs.
of no, because the other word for treadmill is the dreadmill, right? People dread
That's right.
getting on it. So
That's right.
treadmills, you have bicycles, stationary bicycles. Then of course you have bench press and all of that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So for most people, regardless whether they are young or old, man or woman, this is the kind of typical exercise they have. So we go to the gym, and miraculously something will happen while we are there, and our bodies will become better. But just through our common friends and experience and all that, we know that most people cannot consistently go to the
True.
gym
True.
because of number of reasons. First of
Yeah.
all, gyms require them to actually either walk, drive, or somehow they get to the place, park, go change clothes, put on clothes which are gym specific, then do the workout, and then come back. And it takes about anywhere between an hour and a half to even 2 hours of their time.
That's right. Yeah.
And given that everyone is squeezed for time, a lot of people are unable to keep up with that consistency. So, what we want to talk about is how do we get these effective results by
Hmm.
using some of the time tested techniques that the world has developed and seen, and it produces great amount of results. So, nothing against treadmill. If it suits you, do it. But if you can't do treadmill and you're
Yeah.
looking at good alternatives with equal or better results, then there are some time tested things. So,
Hmm.
what in the East, okay,
Yeah.
we have seen or heard about things like yoga.
Yes.
We have heard a lot of people do practice Tai Chi.
Yep.
Now, we will talk about the significance of how they evolved and what they are. And also we have heard on in the West things
Yep.
like Pilates and calisthenics,
Yep.
etc.
This
have
links.
evolved.
Yep.
Okay, and all of these, if you see, think the common thing is they try and focus on exercises which use body weight and body
Yeah.
movement
Yeah.
rather than using external equipment.
True.
So it's all about creating that balance. But
Yep.
let's look at some of these aspects of why are they so significant, why they are generally done in the morning, what has happened over the years, how it has transformed into something where it has lost its true essence
Mm-hmm.
and
That's
it's
true.
now down to only body movements. And so let's quickly look at this. First of all, we have established that to get optimal performance, we need to have energy in our body.
That's right.
Okay? How do we charge our bodies? How do we put energy in our bodies? So the
Because
easiest way is to get adequate sleep.
yes.
Okay? Now, sleep is often an overlooked function. People say, oh, I can barely get a 5 hour sleep, 6 hours sleep. And that sleep deprivation eventually catches up onto them and that causes different health problems for them. So, please, number one, do not cheat yourself on your sleep. You're not creating any value for yourself or your family if you're
Mm,
cheating on your sleep. So, number one, do get appropriate amount of sleep, whether it's 7 hours, 8 hours, whatever it is, but do get proper adequate sleep. Get yourself energized. Number two, when you wake up early in the morning, and waking up early in the morning is critical to get the circadian rhythm right. Our bodies have
yeah.
a internal clock, which has to be synchronized with the universal clock.
That's right.
And once we synchronize it, our bodies perform better. That's the way nature has been designed. That's the way plants have been designed. Human beings, animals, everyone has been designed to align with that universal clock.
True.
So we
True.
have to
True.
sync it up.
Yeah.
Now, that's why most people recommend that early morning exercise is good because it
Yeah.
gets your bodies into that rhythm. Now, let's look at some of the basics of how yoga evolved and what
Mm-hmm.
yoga has become now. So, historically, yoga was a meditative practice. If we look at the historical texts,
Yeah.
and then it talked about yoga sutras, which were different poses, etc. Uh, Now, most of the people relate yoga to poses and
Yeah.
positions and
Yes.
exercise.
Yeah.
So, what has been lost in the process is the philosophy behind it.
Mm-hmm.
So, the philosophy behind it, which started, was the art of stillness. When we physically put ourselves in a still state, it's not that
Yeah.
we are not doing anything. Actually, we are doing a lot at that point in time. We are anchoring our mind and body into a state where it can perform better. So now imagine if I'm not still, like I'm not stable, if my
Mm,
mind and my body are not in a calm state, every single thing that happens to me, I will react erratically.
that's right. Very true. Very
If
true.
I come to you, you're in your office, and you have done nothing, and I start yelling at you, and you are not in that still, calm state of mind, you will react to my yelling at you, and you will
Absolutely.
yell back at me.
Yeah.
And that is not going to help either one of us, especially not if you're in a
That's
state
true.
of running a business.
That's true. That's true.
But it is what we have seen that a lot of
Yeah.
times events happen which are beyond our control.
Mm-hmm.
And our ability to react to those events is very critical for our success.
Yeah.
So now, what is yoga doing? Is yoga, first of all, and if you look at all those pictures of mystics, sadhus, etc., we see, they're all in a state of bliss, sitting there somewhere in lotus position, etc. Well, exactly what they're doing is practicing the art of stillness and bringing their mind and body in that calm state. How are they doing that? They're doing it through breathing. Now, breathing is another often overlooked thing because we all think, oh, everybody can take a breath, right?
Yeah.
It's almost automatic, instinctive. But why has the world emphasized breathing? All athletes, whether they are Western, Eastern, swimming, running, they would all
Yes,
emphasize the ability to breathe properly.
that's right. True.
Because breath regulates the way we think and act, and what do our cells need to create energy? We are all made of
Yep.
body cells, right?
Yes.
So all of our body cells need oxygen to survive. Entire body needs oxygen to survive. And the process of breathing is the process of taking in air and getting the oxygen into every single cell of our body so they can unlock the energy that's in them. And that energy is what we need to perform optimally.
Wow. Nice.
It's very simple. I mean, at the end of the day, if you really think about it, it's very, very simple. So a lot of people also don't realize that, most of the weight that we burn in our body, our, fat and other things, is through breathing. We take
Mm.
in air, oxygen, and we release carbon dioxide. So that's why exercise is so important because it increases our breathing, it forces us to increase our breathing, which helps us burn the fat, which we release as carbon dioxide. And then if you look at yogic techniques of breathing, majority of them, once we get into that calm state and still state, focus on our breathing.
Mm. That's true.
Okay?
Yep.
That is the critical part. Once the breathing part is addressed, they would, in yogic techniques, look at some other things. And now, what we come down to poses. Uh, the poses are important because it is not only to get flexibility and muscular strength and all of that, which is a great product of it. But it's also the ability to have our mind control the matter, which is our body. So, what we are trying to do is breathing relaxes us, puts us in a better state, which allows our mind to take control over the matter, which is our physical bodies. And the test of achieving that is by creating those balanced positions or asanas, as they call it. So, again, I just wanted to emphasize that now, generally, if anyone starts to practice consistently on a sustained basis,
Yeah.
yoga on a daily basis, the chances are you will see them become more and more effective in their ability to deal with stress, their ability to perform better, their ability to sleep better, their ability to eat and function better. This is the significance. Now, to practice yoga, you can do it at home, do it on a mat. There's no excuse. There's not a lot of space required for that. You don't have to go to the gym. You don't have to do any of those expensive things.
That's very important what you said right now because a lot of people relate to this you said yoga to the poses when it's all about your breathing, keeping your mind and things like that and all those sort of scenarios and things like that on that, right? So I can understand I mean what you're saying on that. uh, you're absolutely correct on that. It also, I think what's also important for the people is to know that oh, okay, sorry, we just got a comment here as well. Okay, from Kashif, it says sleep, wake up early, exercise. Number three, yoga, state of stillness, body calm and breathing. Absolutely right,
Absolutely.
Kashif. You're absolutely right on that. So
And,
yeah,
and,
I
and
mean,
Kashif should contribute more because he's among the few I've seen who are very high energy people, right? Great energy. And so I'm quite sure he's practicing all these things
so
that he's
because
sharing with
his
us.
because you know how it is, right? He says that he's been beating the sun quite a bit of time, before the sun comes out. Kashyap is there. He's like getting his sleep done, getting his energy done. And you know what? Sometimes I always say that it's always difficult to match up with Kashyap's energy. Mashallah's energy is that much on that. So I'm sure he's practicing all that. That's why he's got all that energy. Yeah.
So Tai Chi, again, Tai Chi, which came from, I would say, Confucius society, Taoist societies, etc., was also originally a form of martial arts taught in temples, but it's the gentle body movements, creating that balance. Again, breathing is a key part. Uh, and this is another thing I want to highlight in discussion, Yusuf. A lot of people equate eating
Yeah,
with getting energy, right? People say, I must eat because I need energy.
that's right.
But very few people realize that actually breathing gives more energy than eating.
Eating is more energy than eating. That's a
Breathing
very good
brings us
point.
more
Yes.
energy than eating. Now, eating actually is of two types. There are food items which will, if our body is ready to digest them, because not all bodies are ready to digest every single thing we eat. But if generally it's a nutritious food item, which is not processed or anything, so let's say a fruit or anything, and our body is properly geared up to absorb the nutrients. Okay, so
Yeah.
absorption of nutrients is equally important. Not everybody is capable of absorbing all the nutrients that they have to extract from the food. So if that is our bodies are ready to do that, that's why exercise is so important. So we have the balance between our acidic state and alkaline state of the body. Then we will get the nutrition and that will create energy for us. But if we just eat food, it is not going to give us energy. It's actually going to take energy from us because body will then need the energy to break down the food we are eating and try and digest it.
So
So
it
again,
also brings to a point that every sort of diet is not for everybody. For example, people just get up and say, "Oh, today I'm going to start doing keto." Right away, they start doing keto, all that, thinking that you will get the energy. Sometimes a lot of people would have protein shakes, without even realizing that whether their body actually needs that or not. Thinking that they're getting that sort of energy for them to take them throughout the day.
well, that's exactly the point because uh, we don't understand how our bodies function. We don't understand what our body requirements are, and then we just assume that by doing well, the body needs carbohydrates.
Yeah,
It does to create sustained energy.
true, true.
All marathon runners and sustained runners, they know the significance and importance of having carbohydrates, without which they
Yeah,
cannot have the sustained energy release in their body.
yeah,
So protein shakes are important, but protein shakes alone will cause a lot of illnesses and disease
true,
unless
true,
we exercise appropriately with it.
true,
And this is
true.
another significance of energy. If food gave us energy, we could give food to a dead body and it will suddenly get all energized and up again. But no,
No,
that doesn't
no,
work.
that's true. That's
Uh,
very true. Very true. Yeah.
yeah, so to even consume food, we need energy, and that energy comes from those kind of practices. So again, Tai Chi is very popular,
Hmm.
especially in the East.
Yeah.
We see a lot of people practicing it on a regular basis. It involves breathing, it requires movement, it requires certain amount of balance, and it is not an old people's practice. It can be practiced at any stage, and it creates the necessary balance so we get that energy inside us, and every single cell of our body is optimally tuned to perform.
Yeah.
See, most people, when you hear about, oh, people have back trouble, I used to have back trouble a lot,
Hmm.
and I did not realize why I had back problem until I figured out that the reason for the back problem is because I was no longer exercising to create the balance. And
Okay.
when you don't create the balance, then parts of your body will create problems for us. And no amount of chiropractic, going to chiropractors and all that is going to fix that problem until we start fixing our own problems. Now, what did then other things happen? So we had Pilates, which came up as an alternative, again, creating body movement using your own body weight. Calisthenics, similar one. Like push-ups are calisthenics in effect.
That's
You're
right.
just
That's
using
right.
body weight to push yourself up.
So can I ask you something? I know before we go into this very interesting thing you brought in. Again, I know it's individual. Talking about your back, because I have been through some of the back pains as well, and I realized that what you were just now saying is that how you really go and balance yourself and things like that. So just for understanding for our audience,
Sure.
what helped you with that? I know everybody would be different on that, but just
Yeah.
just for just to understand how did it help you and what did you exactly do to help with your back pain?
So first of all, when I started experiencing back pain, um, I went to different kind of doctors trying to figure out, and they would put me to stretches, this, that, and I did not know any better.
Hmm.
Okay? And some of the people said, well, it's sciatica, you need surgery, you need
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
etc. And a lot of people also then say, oh, lose weight, right? Now, all of these things are easier said than done. Okay? All of these items.
True.
So eventually, what I figured out after reading and learning about how our body is structured is the balance. I
Hmm.
learned it through heart that if I don't create the right balance in my body, then there are certain parts of my body that will break because they're taking on excessive weight. So
Amazing.
guess what I discovered? The way I stand,
Nice.
the way I sit,
Nice.
the way I walk, all of that were not learned or we can't always tell that we were not taught properly, but
True.
we
True. It's
learn by
just
watching other people, right?
exactly. Exactly.
And then once you realize that you have learned, then you have to unlearn the bad habits and learn the correct ones. Now, of course, weight loss is important, but
Yeah.
I can assure you, you talk to doctors, skinny people also have back problems.
That's true. They do. They do. I
Okay,
know
it's
a lot
not
of
that they
friends.
don't have
They
back
do
problems.
do that. It's that's not the weight part exactly.
Yeah, so yes, weight loss is good, and I highly encourage people to be of optimal weight. But the back problems or shoulder pain or neck pain, all of that comes because
The balance.
the balance, and the balance comes from our breathing. Because what happens is we take stress in our different parts of our body,
Yes.
and that stress tends to then show its impact.
Yeah.
And then what happens? One day somebody is just getting out of a car, getting out of bed,
All of a
simple
sudden.
activities. And
Ah.
then suddenly say, what happened? I threw my back off, right? Simple
That's
activities.
true. That's true. That's true.
So to just answer your question, all these practices, yoga practice,
Nice.
Tai Chi, they are all there to help us, first of all, through breathing, relax,
Hmm.
create
Hmm.
that stillness, clarity of mind. Over time, the balance will create that, all the postures and everything we talk about, a state where we will avoid putting excessive force on one part of our body and
True.
allow us to operate better. So, like I said, how we sit,
Yeah.
how we stand, how we walk, all of that plays a part.
True. Very true.
Okay, a lot
Very
of
true.
people start running, and you know that, say, oh, I want to lose weight, I'll start running. They start running only to realize that their knees start to hurt or
That's right.
their feet are in pain. Okay, so instead of actually helping what their end objective was, it starts to hurt them. And
That's right.
and we do not encourage people to reach that level. So what
That's
we
right.
are trying to do is say, look, guys, if you have not exercised for a long time and you think your knees are not up to it, the gentler exercises
True.
which reduce your body weight. And of course, um, I would encourage people to work with some teachers
Yeah.
or instructors who are competent enough to guide them through this.
True. True.
Yeah,
No, no,
because
absolutely.
everyone's health condition is different. This is a generic discussion, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
That
someone
disclosure
who has
always
certain
there.
kind of ailments, I can't really say what's suitable for them and not suitable for them.
Agreed. Agreed. Agreed.
But
Agreed.
what we do want to encourage is people to adopt this healthy lifestyle. Eating, okay, here's the other thing. You may have heard, Yusuf, everybody is nowadays doing intermittent fasting, right?
That's right.
To lose
Yeah.
weight.
Yeah.
Now, the question is, I mean, fasting is great, okay? I'm not saying fasting is not good. Whether you do intermittent fasting or anything, I think eating less in itself is very good. Okay, just
Hmm.
eat less. And whatever you eat something that is going to be good and healthy for you.
That's good and healthy. That's true. That's
Okay.
true.
So that's the bottom line. Eat less. Whenever you
Eat less.
eat less, and
That's right.
eat just enough to survive. Okay.
Absolutely. And I always say that health is your biggest wealth. So, I mean, if you're not going to be maintaining that health lifestyle and things which you need to take out time for yourself, uh, guess what will happen? You're going to lose that health, you're going to lose that wealth. And, I really, really, really like the point which you made right in the starting of it. We are here, when we say we are here to take care of our families, to take care of our friends, and take care of everyone else. Well, the first thing you do is you have to take care of yourself. If you're taking care
Correct.
of yourself, then you're in a position to go and take care of others on that.
That's right. Otherwise, if we become a liability on our family, that's not a good thing.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And as we conclude, Yusuf, one last thing on this
Sure,
is our mental, because that's why we want to do these exercises,
sure.
because of our mind. Our mind can give toxic thoughts as well.
Mm,
A lot of people who feel tired all the time or less energy are usually carrying around a lot of toxic thoughts.
mm.
And those toxic thoughts are sometimes made worse because
That's
if they
right.
don't sleep enough or they don't
Yeah,
exercise enough.
that's right. That's right. That's right. So that's another thing as well, which creates this kind of discomfort for a lot of people with, and those thoughts will actually demotivate you, and the things you go in the right direction, you will not even go to those directions as well on that.
Yes.
Absolutely, very very well said. You know what? Thank you so much, Haroon. Always a pleasure having you here. Anything you want to say before we say bye to our audience?
Well, my request to everyone is start even with 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, whatever little time you can find, prioritize yourself, and those 5, 10 minutes just focus on yourself. You're worth it. Your families need you, and people around you need you. So take care of yourself, take care of your good health, and the rest, the results will show.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. And again, as Harun said, take care of yourself, maintain a healthy lifestyle. That's the whole idea of bringing up these sessions is that because we won't talk about different things, different topics, apart from the stream which you would be hearing from the rest of the people on that. So really another amazing topic. Thank you so much, everyone. Please take care of yourself. And always a pleasure having you, Harun, on our show. Thank you so much. Take care.
Likewise, thank you so much, Yusuf.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for having
Bye.
us. Bye.
Bye.